Okay, let's see if everything's working. I'm Knut Oxnevad. I represent SIMTANO. I'm the founder of that small consultancy company. The title of my talk is Future, Working in Real Time. I'm going to have you switch your brain around a little bit because we're going to talk about work processes. Actually, I'm going to pose a question. Is working in real time actually going to be the driver for the next big thing in engineering software? I want you to keep that in mind as I continue. Okay, to do that, let's talk a little bit about the systems we're going to see in the future. We're going to see design of new cars. They're going to be more fuel efficient, they're going to be smaller, they're going to be more intelligent, they're going to be recyclable. It's a challenge. We're going to have new energy systems. They're probably going to be distributed. We might have one on each house. We're going to have better fuel cells. We're going to have better solar cells. Subsea, we're going to have to develop systems with more autonomy. They're going to move from hydraulic to electric actuators, and they're going to be moving into deeper waters. We're going to have to develop planetary bases, talking about starting with lunar bases. They're going to include humans. We're going to have sophisticated life support systems. We're going to have larger vehicles. We're going to have habitats. Now, why do I mention these? It's common for all of these projects and systems in future. They're going to be more complex and they're going to be typically larger. Now, complexity is something that we're going to have to deal with. Every expert has to deal with that. Okay. So, every expert will actually have two challenges. One is to be able to work and specialize within their own field. The second one is they're going to have to interact much more now with their fellow experts, and that's going to be a challenge. We basically create a conflict symbolized by this little room here. You want to specialize, but yet at the same time you need to work much more with the different people around you. That's a challenge. It's a conflict. How do we solve that so far? We basically say, go and work in your office, come to a meeting, and let's have a coordination meeting and let's talk. We basically have drowned our experts in meetings to the point where they basically get nothing done but going to meetings. Sounds familiar? Yes. Right. Is there a better way? Answer is yes. It's working in real time. Think about, instead of taking people to a meeting where they sit and talk, you actually invite them to come and work in real time in a special environment. You give them computers, as you see here, with all the tools they need for doing their analysis, simulations, based on networked. You put in big screens in here so we can share what we're designing. You can see the problem from many angles, okay? This is the future. This is where we want to go. And you also include your facilitator. You see that person right there? Looks a little familiar too. And you have the customer. So you can make decisions and you can work in real time, and after 3.5 hours you actually achieve something, not just talking. Okay? And I should also say that a lot of these ideas were pioneered at JPL, later ESA, and also at other NASA centers, and we're now bringing it into the oil and gas industry, working with some of the bigger companies for helping them do that. Okay, good, perfect timing. To make this happen, we need to understand three things: process, or people, process, and tools. They're equally important, and we also need to understand how they interact together. We need to understand, or people need to understand how they're going to work in this environment. We need to have a process that makes it possible for this environment to work. And we need to have tools. And here's my challenge to you. I want you to go back to your offices, well, not offices, back to your companies, and think, how can you take your tools and make them so we can work them in a real-time environment? So it's possible for us to use them for doing analysis, design, and simulations in real time. Okay? Is that a good enough challenge? Excellent. That was mine. Thank you so much.